Junior Seminar Group. I hope you're doing well and looking forward to the start of another semester. My name is Dr. Beth Sherman, and I will be your professor for the Junior Seminar course. And I wanted to create a video to kind of orient you to the course and the first couple of weeks, especially since we will not be meeting face-to-face until really the third week of classes because of not meeting on Monday. And then also not meeting for MLK Day next Monday. That said, you're still going to be doing some thinking and some online discussion and writing to help you to start thinking about the scholarship project, which I'll talk more about in just a minute. But then that way you have an idea already of how the course is set up. So for those of you who don't know me, as I said, my name is Dr. Sherman, and I am the chair of the English department here. And have the pleasure of being able to teach the Junior Seminar course. My background is primarily in English education at the bachelor's, master's, and PhD level. So those of you who have taken English methods courses, you probably already had a class with me. For those of you who are not English education majors, if you are writing or English, I look forward to getting to know you better this semester and helping you to develop that project. So a little bit about the course in general. This is the second time that the course is going to be offered. We ran the course for the first time last year. And the course was developed in response to feedback from alumni and from students of wanting to have a more robust scholarship project as a capstone piece for the program. And so this course primarily is going to help you set up an annotated bibliography and a proposal for your program scholarship project that you guys will be completing in the fall of your senior year. So for your senior year, you will take either the senior writing seminar or the senior English seminar. And within that course, you will actually be fully writing, implementing the project that you are proposing. So for the end of this semester, the last thing we're going to be doing is turning in a proposal that you'll get feedback on, and then also presenting on your proposal that will get approved before then you do your scholarship project, which that part of the work will take place in the fall of your senior year. So this course is set on helping you come up with a project idea, finding sources for that, which you'll write up in the form of an annotated bibliography, and then also you'll be writing your proposal and then presenting that to other English professors as well as your peers. In addition to that, you will notice that you guys will be working on your department portfolio. So you guys originally created a portfolio in English 125. So you're going to be continuing to develop that. If you for some reason didn't take 125, no worries, we'll get your portfolio set up. And you'll notice throughout the semester that we are going to be spending time brainstorming and drafting and doing some activities that will help you for the portfolio. So that's not anything to worry about yet, although you will notice that within the course, I do already have some materials. I'll be adding those as we go, but materials in case you're kind of curious, well, what will the annotated bibliography look like? What will the department portfolio look like? You already can get into those projects, and you'll see that's the way I have the course set up is by each project. So in addition to working on the scholarship project proposal and then also the portfolio, you will see that we are also going to be spending time on what we call a faith integration assignment. Obviously, faith is very important to who you are and what you do already as a student, and then in your future. And as students who will be graduating a little over a year from now, that's something that we want to spend time engaging with and discussing in terms of, again, kind of how that plays out in your life as a student, but then also what that's going to look like in the future in your career and as you make decisions as people who will be graduating a little over a year from now. So I'll talk more about this when we meet face-to-face and have copies of these books, but essentially you're going to be choosing a text that in some way addresses, faith within your work, within your profession, within your daily living. We have quite a variety of books here that are recommended from professors from the English department. But a chance for us to engage as a group in a discussion, and you'll be reading one of these books in its entirety. You are also welcome to propose a book if there's another book, but this has to be a book that you have never read before, and if you want to choose a book that's not on this list, it's a book that you have to get approved from me well in advance. So again, more to come on that, but that's another part of this course is we are developing you as thinkers and writers, but then also as people of faith and thinking about what that means now and in the future. So I mentioned a little bit about how I have the course set up. Another page to acquaint you to is the syllabus page. And you will want to spend some time, because we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this. I'll probably just kind of very briefly reference it when we meet together in a couple of weeks. So you will want to make sure that you are familiar with the course policies. You can kind of see the way that the assignments play out in terms of the points and things. And then also, this is a page, and I'll probably also post this on the homepage for you, but where you can find the course schedule. So I already mentioned some of the major projects that we're going to be doing, and you will notice that everything that we are doing in class will help guide you towards the completion of those projects. So we have days that you have a research workshop. We'll be meeting in the library for that day. There's a portfolio workshop, research workshop, conferences. You're going to be conferencing with me throughout the entire process, as well as even getting feedback from other English professors to help you to best develop your annotated bibliography and your proposal, and then we'll be presenting those at the end of the semester. But you see that the course is very much workshop oriented, so that it will help you to make progress towards each of these projects. So the last thing I want to do in this video, especially because for this week, you will see that I am asking you to start thinking about what you want to do for your larger scholarship project. So there are some prompts here that you will be contemplating and then submitting that by the end of the week by 11:59 on Sunday. But just a couple of other kind of information about what that scholarship project will look like. And there are already some examples here. I will be posting some additional samples from students from last week. But for the scholarship project, as you're thinking about that, so for students who are, you may be English education, or writing, and really, whether you're English education or writing, you have a lot of freedom in the type of project that you choose. And so I'm going to talk you through, some ideas for this, but then also to mention that you guys have a lot of freedom with what you want to propose. So I'll post some samples from our students from last year, but the difference in the projects varied greatly. So I'll talk you through some ideas, but I want you guys to think more broadly. I want you to think creatively. I want you to kind of step back from just digging into some samples and thinking about, as an English education and writing major, what are some of the things that you are most curious about? What are some of the things that you're most passionate about? What are some of those courses or those topics that maybe you even wrote a shorter paper, maybe you wrote a short literary analysis paper on, or maybe there was a theory that stood out to you in literary theory that you are intrigued by? What are you really passionate and interested in? Other things to kind of think about, big picture, is thinking about what do you want to do when you graduate. So for those of you who know you want to go on and do grad school in literature, those of you who know you want to go on and maybe do a library science program, those of you who hope to work in a library when you graduate, those of you who hope to work as an editor when you graduate, those of you who plan to be teachers when you graduate, those of you who want to teach ESL overseas when you graduate, and some of you may not know that yet, and that's okay, but start to think about what you might be most interested in focusing in on even when you graduate. So the projects tends to fit into a couple of different categories, kind of with that in mind. First, those of you who are English education, most of our English education majors have chosen to do topics where they are doing primary data collection. So what that means is that you may be surveying and or interviewing teachers about their perspective on a specific topic. So let's say that you are very interested in young adult literature, but you're kind of curious is what is the place of young adult literature within a high school classroom. That's kind of starting broadly, but then you may narrow down and say, I'm interested in young adult literature, and I'm interested in issues of identity and identity formation among high school students and how we might use young adult literature to do so. Then you may, you'll do a review of literature, so you're going to do a lot of primary research, reading of primary research, I should say, first, where you're going to find out what's already been found on that topic, what have experts already said, and then for your actual project, you are going to be interviewing or surveying teachers So you get that local personal perspective on, how we might use these texts in this way. Those of you teachers, you may be interested in more ideas and strategies for teaching grammar. You may be interested in finding out, we had a student last year who looked at how teachers best implement creative writing, because she's really passionate about using creative writing within a high school classroom. And so for education students, a lot of times that's going to look like you're going to have a topic, you're going to explore the previous research, and then you're going to actually have a chance to interview or survey teachers. For those of you who are primarily interested in literature and literary theory, I would say think about what specific theories and or texts and or time periods and or genres are ones that you are most interested in. So for a literature class, you guys have written shorter and longer literary analysis papers. This will be a more robust exploration of a literary theory or a specific set of texts. So we're thinking more like a 15 to 18 page literary analysis paper. It's kind of like a long literary paper that you've done in the past on steroids. It's going to be a little bit more robust, which means that you may be exploring a theoretical framework amongst multiple texts or multiple authors or within a time period, as opposed to just specifically looking at one text with one theoretical framework like you've done in the past. But for now, think about the literature that's most appealed to you, think about the theoretical frameworks that have most appealed to you, and thinking about what you may want to explore. For those of you who are writing, you also have a lot of freedom, and even those of you who are not writing majors, you may choose a writing project. So last year, some of those projects, we had students who wrote novels or novellas. We had students who did more modern day adaptations of Shakespeare plays. We had students who did more professional writing types of projects around a specific topics. They were going to write multiple articles on a specific topic. But here too, you'll notice that the projects vary quite a bit. So for those of you who are interested in writing, what types of genre are you interested in? What types of writers are you interested in? What writers have been most influential to you in the past? What kinds of texts do you like to write? What kinds of genres do you like to write? But thinking of an original text that you're writing and or collection. For example, if you're going to do poetry, for example, then which authors are you going to be reading? So that's where we're getting started, and we'll continue to talk more about, what is that going to look like, what kind of research, what kind of reading do you need to be doing to move that idea forward. But I want you to think about what you would want to do, a topic that you're going to be interested in, not only just for the semester, but then pursuing the entire fall semester to write a more robust scholarship project. So you can see more details in terms of the project and then the proposal, what that's going to look like, and kind of what the criteria is for that. And we'll talk about that more as we meet face to face. But I want you to start thinking about that, because you'll notice that once we do meet, we're going to hit the ground running in terms of research. Also, you guys have a lot of experience with research already at this point, and so you are welcome to already even just start to dig into the library resources, which we'll get more help on when we have our library day coming up in a few weeks. As you have questions or concerns, even though we aren't meeting face-to-face for a few weeks, I'm here, I'm available, I'm happy to already start to talk about ideas if you would like to do so, if you just want to stop by Burke 419 and say hi. But that's what we're doing for this first week, and then I'll be in touch for what we're going to be doing for next week as well. Looking forward to working with you guys this semester.